What's up, y'all? And welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. My name is Ian Edwards, and if you look around, we are in a different location, but we'll get to that. All right. Uh, Podcast is found visually on YouTube. Go to Ian Soccer Comic Grant Edwards, or just type in my name, Ian Edwards, on YouTube. You'll see a podcast there. You can listen to it on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Libsyn. On iTunes, leave a comment, let people know how you feel about it. And on YouTube, smash the like button and subscribe, and you'll find out whenever a new episode comes out, which is every like Monday nightish, Tuesday morning. All right. And our sponsor is on the volleyapparel.com. You can go there, get tanks, tees, hoodies for men and women. There's also sweatshirts, and they have hip hop soccer logos / emblems on the front. There's a Tribe Called Quest one. There's the Wu-Tang symbol with a soccer field in it, and there's a NASA joint, and there's just a plethora of styles. You know what I mean? And you can have matching hoodies with you and your girl. You know, if you're both into soccer like that, and just have a happy New Year. Use my promo code Comic Rant, and you get 20% off. See, that's me. That's me doing that for you, blessing you with a 20% off. You went there without my name, you'd have to pay full price. But you go there and you put in Comic Rant, you get 20% off. And they can also outfit your local soccer team. So it's a good, independent-owned company striving to, make its name in soccer. Elvis, the owner, he loves the game, goes to all the LAFC games, and he's a part of the Los Angeles soccer community. So, go there, see if you see something you like, and purchase. So this is the last podcast of the decade, and I'm just saying that so it sounds huge, but it's just a regular podcast that happens to be the last one for the decade. And my guest is comic from San Diego, Neil Chakravarty,
Hey.
Chelsea fan. What up, Neil?
Good. I'm good.
You
What's
good?
up? Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I'm trying to sit comfortably in this chair
Yeah.
and still be on this
I'm
mic.
still getting used to this place.
Well, we're here. We was here last week, and we're here
Yeah.
this week. All Things Comedy's closed, but I'm a regular at the Comedy Store, and they were
Yeah.
nice enough to let me record here. So
That's great.
that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. This place is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like it too. And
Happy
they
to
have
be here.
like you mentioned before, there's the
Yeah.
last week we used the blue lights. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have went for the Manchester red lights. So the podcast studio is painted red. That's the way it should be.
That's what drew me in, and I got here and see what's going on.
Yeah. It's the only lights.
That was
should
bait.
From now on, only red. I decree that only red would be used in this podcast.
Get all the
studio.
wood at the other studio, painted teak wood.
Yeah. Just paint it, baby. So what's going on? It's been crazy because there's so many games.
Yeah, games been coming fast.
In triple less the amount of time.
Yeah.
And some weeks, you can't even say weeks. There's 3 weeks of games in 1 week.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or 1.5 weeks. So there's been moments when teams are up and moments when they're down. And there's some teams that are completely down, and some teams, they just stay up. Like Liverpool, they're just on uppers the entire time. They're just beating everybody. And
usually there are a couple of such teams every festive season.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams are all just doing good,
right,
and some are just doing bad.
Mm-hmm.
This time Liverpool's the only team that's consistent. So you have no clue what's going on with the rest of the teams.
Liverpool is doing so good. Man City's record is considered bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's how good Liverpool is doing. They've dropped only points against us for the year against Manchester United. That's the only time they dropped points, and it's been all wins.
I think it'll be a shock if they don't break that record.
We'll see.
The City, 100 points.
We'll see. I mean, it's a lot. It's half the season left. That's a lot of season.
Yeah, but
you don't win the title in half a season.
Come on, they've won it.
No, not yet.
No,
Not yet.
still holding out.
How many points let's see
They
how.
got I think they have a 13-point lead over City with the game in hand.
Right. Last year, they had, at this same stage, they lost a 10-point lead to City.
But
So now it's 13. And now, but City had the game in hand.
exactly.
This
So
is,
it's actually 7 versus 16.
right. So
So
I need a few more weeks
yeah.
before I give it to them. There's no
Yeah.
hurry to give it to them. They'll
That's
get it when they
true.
get it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I? And everybody's trying to like give it to them already. And then and it's the same people that know. Everybody knows shit happens in football.
Yeah.
The weirdest shit. So I'll wait.
That's true, but I don't think something this weird happens. Like you don't for Liverpool, they have a 5-game lead right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's assuming the second guy, which I think is Manchester City's the only.
Even though
real-
Leicester's the
Leicester's
second
like
guy,
yeah, but
nobody's taking him serious as the second guy.
well, and they proved to be right in the last week.
But
'Cause Leicester could keep up the pace.
yeah, Leicester lost to Liverpool, who you should lose to, and they lost to Man City.
They lost to
Who-
Man City.
They lost to the teams that can beat them.
But
That
but
can beat
that's the
anybody.
thing. Like if Man City's below them, well, they're just theoretically below them.
Say that again.
I mean, they're the only team which, even if you're saying that maybe we need to wait to anoint Liverpool, realistically, Man City is the only team that can pull together a string of results.
So
I don't see Leicester doing that.
here's a real question: Can
Yeah.
Leicester
Stay second, they can.
can they stay second?
Yeah, they can.
No, I don't even think they'll stay second. That's to me like there's 20 games left about.
Yeah, but they
They'll-
can. I mean, I won't be surprised if they stay
I
second.
doubt it. Not with everything that Man City has. I know they have to play more games, so I don't. Oh, that's just my opinion. So we just both differ opinion wise on that. Like, can they stay?
I'm not saying they will.
Can they stay top 4?
Um,
You believe Liverpool has won it. I don't believe they've not won it. I just want to give them more time. But can Leicester stay? Can Leicester stay in the top 4?
they can definitely stay in the top 4, but
They can, but will
they
they?
can. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. Only thing I feel for certain is that Liverpool's gonna win the title, and
Uh-huh.
Man City's gonna be in the top 4. Everything
Right.
else is I mean, I won't be surprised if Leicester stays second because Man City has so many issues at the back,
Mm-hmm.
and Leicester's pretty solid there.
What if they have an injury? Do they have enough?
Yeah, Leicester
have
doesn't
backup?
have a lot of backup. Although
If they have an injury
think-
anywhere, if they have an injury at forward, in the midfield they might be safe.
yeah,
But if they have a a key injury in defense,
but I think
Then-
in the last game, West Ham,
West
was it
Ham,
West Ham? Who did they play last? Leicester.
yeah, West Ham.
West Ham, right? I think Rogers made like 9 changes.
Oh, okay. So
So
they,
they
have,
got a whole bunch of folks, and they didn't look as good, but they got the win.
right. It was against West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elenacho,
Right.
I think, all those guys. But yeah, it's definitely a question because it's you sometimes can look at Leicester and feel like it's the Jamie Vardy show,
Mm-hmm.
and if he's out,
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
if he's out,
yeah,
where are they gonna get another goal scorer?
and he's what, like 33, 34?
right.
But he only has to play 1 game a week, so except for December when you don't have that luxury,
And December's
Which-
over now.
and they took the hit,
And they
but
still-
it's
I mean, December's over now, and they won.
and
Uh,
and they're still second, yeah.
In this game against Leicester, let me see who. Let me try to find out who. I'm just curious who Leicester started. So they played West Ham, and they made 9 changes.
Yeah,
Is that how disrespectful? Is that disrespectful
to
or-
Pellegrini.
to Pellegrini?
I think that I think the West Ham board saw the Leicester lineup and decided to sack Pellegrini.
Yeah, they're like
they weren't
saw-
waiting for the
they
game.
saw the lineup. No, they didn't. No, they're not starting any Vardy.
yeah,
They put Iheanacho in,
Yeah.
right? And then you said they beat us with Iheanacho and Damari Gray. You're fired.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like if they'd beat us, if you'd beat us 2-1 with Vardy, and you beat us with Albrighton.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm sorry, Pellegrini.
This is like
you lost to a team.
this
with
is like
Albrighton.
it felt like a tribute to the decade team.
Right. Yeah. So it's like we gotta fire
All
you,
right,
bro.
and Johnny Evans. Did Johnny Evans play? Yeah.
Yeah,
Johnny Evans been
they
playing
started Wes Morgan.
Yeah.
On
Oh
West
my
Ham.
God. Yeah. This is like a tribute. This is a Ranieri tribute team.
They beat us with they beat you with a Ranieri team. This is the team Ranieri got fired for having.
Yeah.
And they beat West Ham with it. So Pellegrini got fired.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the hiring of David Moyes?
Well, it just looks
West
so
Ham.
silly. It's the
Yeah.
worst look to have because
Right.
you got rid of the guy, less than 2 years ago, saying that we're better than this. We wanna reach higher, which is what their spending kind of indicated that that's what they want to go.
Right.
And now you're kind of like you did that. You got this former manager of Real Madrid and Manchester City, and it's gone nowhere. And now the worst thing in life is to go back to your ex.
Is it?
I mean, after you've like treated her like shit.
But if she's has a low self-esteem enough to take you back,
or if she has no other options,
if she has a low self,
she or he
has a low self-esteem enough to take you back, then maybe they are the one for you.
But you know what? Like people, like everybody's gonna watch.
Yeah.
And every step is gonna be watched so closely now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have preferred if they went for a clean slate, but a lot of these English clubs, they can't look beyond that cocoon of Sam Allardyce, David Moyes.
Right.
Who else? Tim. I don't know if Tim Sherwood gets a job, but
right, he shouldn't.
But it kind of feels like they're cast from the same clay.
Yeah. They if you was on a sitcom in the 80s, meaning if you were a coach in the 80s, you could always get a job. In the 2000s as a coach. But my opinion on it is, hey, you had to fire Pellegrini.
Yeah.
You spent $290 million on players, and you say you want to do better, and then the person you broke up with is looking at you do worse. And you're looking at you doing worse. And one thing I got to say about West Ham is, like, a lot of teams don't want to spend money or make moves to be better. At least, and West Ham has moved to a new stadium.
Yeah.
They got rid of the coach before they got Moyes because, he had a good year and then had like 1.5 to 2 bad years. They got rid of him. Then they got Moyes to save it, to bring it up. Then they got rid of Moyes because they want to like, they've spent money and they've tried to launch themselves up top. But so they're good for that. But now you have to hire the people who, when they spend your money, they don't waste it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
let's let me finish. So you had to fire Pellegrini, but it is comical that you're back at Moyes. Because Moyes is going to be better than Pellegrini, but he's not going to be better than Moyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's going to be better than Pellegrini now.
So let me just finish. He's just going to be get you past Pellegrini's level, but stuck on Moyes' level, which is where you want to go past.
Yeah.
But now you're just so desperate just to get to the Moyes level. Yeah. You're paying for it. And they gave him an 18-week contract, meaning as soon as he saves them.
18 weeks? 18 months.
18 months, yeah. As soon as he saves them, they're going to fire him. They're going to eat the 1.5 years of money.
Oh, this is bad. Yeah, this is really bad for David Moyes.
He's like, yeah, this is what I do. I win. And he's like, I'm going to make it so that they're not going to want to fire me.
Yeah.
But, bro,
it's written there.
It's just, you just to get into the top 6.
Yeah.
They're going to fire you.
Yeah.
Once they're going to use you to buy time to hopefully sort everything out and find the right person and look outside the box.
Yeah.
And then, good luck. At least you won't get relegated. So every team that got rid of a coach is doing better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the biggest game of this weekend, and this was the weekend, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the
yeah,
weekend. It wasn't the Christmas game.
yeah.
It wasn't.
It's that time of the year. We
yeah.
don't know whether it's the weekend or the weekdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the midweek days feel
Everything
like
feels
weekends.
the same.
Yeah,
Nobody's looking at the calendar.
Yeah. Everybody's just kind of off.
Yeah.
For people who are not working.
Yeah.
So, Arsenal versus Chelsea. But before Arsenal versus Chelsea, you guys played Southampton.
Southampton.
How did you feel about losing to Southampton and Southampton balling you off the park?
It was kind of predictable, though, if you've seen the way we've played against these teams at home in the last
and why
2
does your
months.
home record suck? As a Chelsea fan, why does your home record suck?
I think
and why are you losing to?
I think we just get a little, when you have to perform in front of your parents,
Right.
the occasion can sometimes get to you,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a new team. So
Uh-huh.
when occasion gets to you and you're not dealing with it well in the first 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
it can have a domino effect. So, you just can't get out of that, that pit you have dug yourself for.
Mm-hmm.
And then, defense has usually been good in the last couple of months, but
Mm-hmm.
you concede one goal, and then you're trying so hard to. Also, our squad has looked very thin, so
Mm-hmm.
we
How
somehow
does it look then? You guys got people.
we got
There's a
people who we
freshly
refused to
dressed Ross
use.
Barkley,
Yeah.
like
So
laying
there's like
on
3
cotton in the
folks.
back room.
So there's 3
Unwrap
folks: Ross Barkley, Oliver Giroud, and
Mhm.
Pedro, who are pretty much persona non grata at this point. Like, they don't exist
And you're
for
happy about
Lampard.
that.
Personally, yeah, I can see why, because they were given at least Pedro and Giroud started one game and they were
One
horrible.
game?
They started one game and they were
That's
horrible.
That wasn't that generous.
I mean, those are the chances. Like, teams been playing well for the first part of the season,
Mm-hmm.
and you get your chance, you got to make it count. And they were like horrible. They were really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with Ross Barkley, it's we've seen his level at Chelsea. It's been more than
Mm-hmm.
12 months now.
Right.
Well, like almost 2 years now. So I'm not that surprised. But yeah, so now you're not using 3 folks,
Right.
and Ruben Loftus-Cheek is injured. So it's kind of like a 24-person squad becomes like a 17, 18-person squad.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah.
So did it hurt losing to Southampton?
Yeah, obviously, like, because
Good.
we did so well
Good.
beating Spurs,
Right.
and we increased
Yeah,
that
especially
gap.
after the Spurs win.
Yeah,
Right.
increase that gap, and then we come back to to a 2-point gap. I think it was before the beginning of this weekend.
Uh-huh.
So, and we've had issues creating at home,
Uh-huh.
and we've had issues creating this entire last month or so, and that's also because like our front 3 or 4 are so overworked.
Uh-huh.
Like, Tammy has to pretty much start every game, and
But you're not using
Batshuayi,
and Pulisic.
he's Pulisic's gotten injured.
Oh, so he's injured.
Pulisic was injured from before the Southampton game, so he was benched for the Spurs game.
Okay.
But Southampton and Arsenal, he wasn't fit. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been the crux of it. And you know what happens to Willian when people are not watching?
Nah, he plays. He balls out.
He balls out, man. But you know what they say about the 20/80 rule? Like,
No, what's the 20/80 rule?
well, 20% of the people own 80% of the money.
Uh-huh.
So Willian's 80% effort comes only 20% of the time.
It's a joke, but it doesn't logically, because even the win you guys had against Arsenal,
Yeah,
that's
was
his assist.
that is his assist.
It's his assist. So,
But that's what I'm
and-
saying. That's why it's so frustrating to have a player like Willian,
what do
because
you
you
mean
know
frustrating?
what he
He's
can
been
do.
playing good all year.
You know what he can do, But that entire period of
I've
where
been
Chelsea,
watching him doing it.
but when Chelsea had that entire period of 5 losses in 6 games,
You know what's
and
frustrating?
and we
Being
dropped that.
Willian and being judged like this by
No,
Chelsea
I
fans.
think it's pretty fair because if you look at his league record over the last 6 years he's been at Chelsea, he hasn't hit 10 goals mark once, which is really poor from a team that has, been contending for the top of the Premier League during that period.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, this season is an
Mhm.
improvement on his previous seasons,
Uh-huh.
but it's still very sporadic
Okay.
from somebody who right now doesn't have Eden Hazard to hide behind. He is the senior most
Mm-hmm.
forward in the team.
And he's proving it.
He is proving it, but it's still too sporadic for me. Like I mean, it's
I don't think there's anything Willian could do to make certain. There's
He
some
could-
there's some certain
he could
players,
hit that 10 goal level. I'll be happy.
No, you wouldn't.
I will be
Listen,
happy.
No, you wouldn't. There's certain players for certain teams, they can do no wrong for that team,
Yeah.
no matter how bad they're playing, and they can do no right for that team, no matter how
Well,
good they're playing. Well, let me just say
Yeah.
one thing. Yo, Mike, can you hear that? Will that vacuum mean that the story's doing? It won't be heard in here. And what about the talking in there? Because I could hear it like in here. So no, okay, cool. Just check it. Because I didn't know. I wasn't sure. All right. So go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, Williams definitely won more hearts this season than previous seasons.
Mhm. What if Frank Lampard had lost the game to Arsenal?
What if?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
After
would've been
losing to
bad.
Southampton.
It would have been bad because we the tactics we started with were not working.
That was from they used the Chelsea game tactics.
They used the Spurs game.
Brought it into the Spurs games tactics. Brought it into
Yeah.
the Southampton
and it didn't
game.
work in Southampton,
work
so I had
and
to
then-
change it at halftime
and-
in Southampton.
and then brought it into
brought it
to
back.
the it's like
Yeah,
you just that's a party trick. You pull it out
yeah.
when it's time to party.
Also,
if you're gonna party, if you're gonna play Man City, you pull it out. You party with them.
Yeah.
You use it the three at the back. You're playing Spurs, you pull it out. You don't play Southampton, pull it out. And Arsenal is just a degree better than Southampton on
I-
paper. So you just play them.
I think the reason why they want the only logic I can see is because Arsenal was gonna go with those 2 center forwards, so you want a 3 center backs
Mm-hmm.
to counter that because there's not a lot of teams that go with 2 at top. So, but it didn't work. And credit to Lampard, he didn't wait.
He had no choice, and you had to put Jorginho in there.
But he didn't wait. Like a lot of managers in
Right.
that, even Frank 2 days back waited till halftime to make that
So
change.
he's grown in the last 2 days.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's learning from his mistakes,
Yeah.
and which is kind of expected for somebody like Lampard with his managerial experience.
Right.
But he made that change, got Jorginho in, and more importantly, he didn't stick to having a makeshift right back in Tomori.
Who's
got-
this new kid?
Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah.
Tariq Lamptey, baby.
Yeah.
We've been, I mean, when
I think England is just full of backs.
right backs.
That's all we
Fullbacks.
make is
Yeah,
left
yeah.
is fullbacks. It's- I wish we could make we got some scorers,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we have some creative midfielders that we refuse to use, like Cantwell from
Yeah.
Norwich and Jack Grealish from
Aston Villa.
from Villa are
Yeah.
being completely blown off right now
Yeah.
at this moment by Southgate. No matter how much good he's done for the England national team and
Yeah.
how much good these guys have done for their team, and when they come in the spark that they add in the quality. But
Yeah.
we got backs for days.
Yeah, there's going to be
bro.
in the next 10 years, there's going to be some world-class right backs who will never play a game for England.
Yeah, and they're growing up at a time when they have 2 really good backs on Liverpool to look at and
Yeah.
see how the game
Yeah,
is played.
Trent Alexander-Arnold has that.
Yeah,
He's probably one of the best players in the world right now,
yeah,
regardless of position.
he's definitely the best
Yeah.
right back. Is he right?
Yes.
In the world?
Yeah.
for sure. And there's some good ones.
Yeah.
but he's it. He proved it against some of the best teams in the world
Yeah.
in Champions League. Yeah.
And so this guy Tariq Lamptey, we've been following his journey in the Chelsea youth teams for a while now,
Mhm.
and he is considered to be like one among 3 or 4 next big next big kids to come out.
That's crazy.
And but the only thing, and that's a very like intuitive thing. You look at him; he's just so tiny.
Right.
So you wonder whether in the modern physical game he can cut it at senior level. Because we've had tiny fullbacks who've done well in the past, like Roberto Carlos, Ashley Cole.
Yeah, we had Raphael.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Raphael size.
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't matter.
I think
man.
he's
As long
tinier
as-
than Rafael. He's 5'4"
Hey, man,
or something.
Messi plays forwards and still scores headers.
But
it
like
doesn't matter.
But as a defender, I mean that's just.
It
but
doesn't matter.
But there are defenders who have managed. Cannavaro who've
Can
managed
he
to
defend?
He can defend.
Can he?
He's electric.
Spark an attack.
Yeah.
Well, those are the things that count.
Yeah.
As long as he can defend, and then you just switch off people because it's just tall people.
Yeah.
And you just switch off like on corners. You just put somebody and you put him. Yeah.
And this is where actually I want to bring this point up because this kind of gets overlooked in this whole Frank Lampard story at Chelsea. Is if it was just Frank Lampard managing the team, Tariq Lamptey wouldn't have played yesterday. But because we had an injury crisis. Aspilicueta,
you don't have an injury crisis.
No, in that position. Aspilicueta was carrying a niggle, and Reece James.
You didn't even like him out there.
No, but Reece.
And what happened to Emerson?
Right back.
Right back.
Reece James had an ankle injury.
Right.
So suddenly one of the options is out, and the other one is maybe not. So you need somebody else to be on the bench. So they picked Tariq, who was on holiday. They called him out from his Christmas break, and the only reason
called him out from his holiday to play in the Premiership.
So Lampard said that that input came from Jody Morris and Joe Edwards, who've been the youth team coaches for a while now.
Right.
And they were trying to find different options, and they said that this kid can do it. And Lampard was like, but, fine, skills and everything is fine, but will he have the mentality to be on if the time comes in a London derby, big game? And they said, yeah, he can do it. And he was great. Like all three subs, I felt, changed the game yesterday.
Right.
Jorginho, Lamptey, and Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah. It's amazing when you see like a kid with no experience run on the field and just play like they belong there. And then you said certain players on certain teams, they just always are nervous and tentative. Like I was watching the Spurs game. They had the Spurs play yesterday. They tied
Norwich?
with Norwich.
Yeah.
And
they
had Sessegnon there.
Yeah.
From Fulham that they bought. They started, I think, at left back. But he made like safe, tentative passes. Like he never, I think he probed forward just once. Like when he said, all right, this is a good chance for me not to lose the ball.
Yeah.
But all the other times it was like a diagonal negative pass into the middle to a player that was open. And it's cool. They switched the ball around to the other side and shit. But he didn't look like he wanted it like, what's his name?
Tariq Lamptey.
Like Lamptey, and he didn't look like he wanted it like Brendan Williams, like like from
I think that's also like
from United.
The professional game kind of curbs your youthful exuberance. Like, because I remember seeing Sessegnon when he was in the championship, and he used to do what you're saying, but then you meet Jose Mourinho. And he doesn't like one run you did in one game, and he's like, stay back.
Right.
So I'm not surprised if fullbacks are
not
going.
Well, I just think Tottenham was just trying to be more defensive, period. Just because they've been giving up goals. So he wants people to stay back. And then, like drawing to Norwich, it's a good thing he won a few days earlier.
No. Oh, yeah, they won something in between.
Yeah, they beat, let me see, they beat Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
2-1, barely. They had to put a lot of effort into that game.
Yeah.
And I felt like Brighton, like, dug in and was playing hard. And then Tottenham was like, oh, shit, we got to play harder. So Lucas Moura went harder. And, they just had to go harder. And everybody had to step up their game a little bit. And then they won that game. And then this game against Norwich, who's, like, Norwich might go down, right? There's a bunch of teams that normally when teams come up from the championship, I'm like, man, I'll watch them when they're playing somebody who's noteworthy. like if
Yeah.
they're playing somebody in the top 6.
Yeah.
But, I could wake up in the morning. Norwich is like at the bottom of the table right now. But I could wake up in the morning and be entertained by Norwich at 4:30 a.m. LA time because they play good football. They open themselves up, and
Yeah.
people are saying like Aston Villa does the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I can watch an Aston Villa game,
There are no bad
and
teams.
most likely there's like Sheffield United is a team from the Championship. They are in. Let me find out what place they're in exactly at this moment.
I think they're 6th.
They are in 8th place right now.
Oh, they stopped. This is the last.
And they are a legit watch. You know what I mean?
But
they are just a legit watch of football. So, but gone are the days when
I think that's a.
let me finish these.
Yeah.
They gone are the days when you're just a fan of a team and you only watch that team. Like your team just came up and they're playing defensive football.
Yeah.
And you have to like suffer through the humiliation of being bombarded. Like these, like Chris Wilde. And these guys are going for it. Like this guy, Sheffield United played. Let me see who they played because it was
Man City.
They played Man City, right?
Yeah.
And they went down to Man City. And normally when teams go down to Man City is like a kitten playing with an injured rat that it found.
Yeah.
Like they'll just bat it around and keep trying to get more goals, and the team will just circle their wagons, but Sheffield was like, no, fuck that. We're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to try to win this game. And, you can't fuck around with Sheffield.
Yeah, I think that's also
Norwich or Villa, no matter where they are in the table.
Yeah. I think that's also a testament to the quality of the championship these days. Because, in previous years, you'd have some random team come up and they would be like a Cardiff, but they would be really bad.
Yeah.
They would be fodder. But I watched the championship a fair bit last season because of Mount, because of Derby County. Mason Mount and Tomori.
Oh, so you're just monitoring
your
future coach and some of your future
I didn't
players.
realize at that time I was monitoring future coach because nobody at Chelsea thought he would be our manager this season. But it was more to see the players. And we have like 6 or 7 players, peppered around different championship teams. And the quality of football is pretty good. It's maybe more physical than the Premier League, but it's also very entertaining because a lot of these clubs have now gone on and hired foreign coaches.
Right.
So, I mean, next season, Leeds United is going to be here. That's what it looks like right now. And that's going to be fun. They have this guy, Bielsa.
Bielsa, who's got accused of like cheating and
by Frank Lampard. That's going to be fun because Leeds and Chelsea's always been a rivalry. And now it's going to be Lampard and Bielsa to add on top of that.
We'll see.
It's going to be a rowdy rivalry.
We was talking about how you guys Chelsea just beat Arteta. But, so Arteta has it tough because he just lost to Chelsea.
Yeah.
But it's how they lost.
Yeah.
And like I was saying last week, Arsenal fans, you got to give Arteta a chance to change this around. He has to find an entire new defense, and in the meantime, he has to get your bad defenders in the mood to actually defend.
Yeah.
The good thing about Alonso, not Alonso, what's his name? David Luiz is because he's playing his old team Chelsea, so he definitely did step up.
He did well,
and he played hard, and he tried because he's like, these motherfuckers sold me for £8 million, $8 million, and they was not gonna play me. So I'm gonna. So he was motivated, but to make David Luiz feel like he's playing Chelsea every week, that's gonna be a project. And just and then they had an injury.
Callum Chambers, that was actually crucial. Chambers was doing well.
Yeah, and then they have to put Socrates in. Mustafi in.
Yeah.
So they're all the same. They're all the same.
Very true.
Lack of effort players. So I'm saying so.
Yeah, I mean the game for the most part, like the first half, it kind of we were not getting anything going.
Yeah, because they came out like a new Arsenal, and that's the thing. Is like, how could you guys? I guess I get it. It's tiring. It's a lot of games, a lot of plays, but Arsenal's going to come out with this Man City, the imitation of Man City energy,
Yeah.
and they're gonna trap you guys and get the ball from y'all, and they're gonna press you, and they did that shit. So
And we kind of
I'm
play.
surprised that Frank was surprised and wasn't ready for this. That you guys weren't ready for it, even though it's a lot of games in a little amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, and the main reason why I never liked the three at the back is I feel like right now, if you look at our team, our biggest strength is the midfield.
Yeah.
And now suddenly you're taking one person away from that. You're kind of compromising your strength to match something that the opposition may or may not do. And it works sometimes. With Spurs, it worked.
Right.
But these guys are ready, and it wasn't working. So when that switch happened, you could already see in the last 5 minutes of the first half that thing. We have more of the ball, and like people are going in front more. But it is still pretty. It was still pretty. We had a lot of possession, but it wasn't really effective possession. We're not doing anything with it. But when Lamptey came on and Hudson-Odoi came on, that's when we actually started using the width, and the game completely changed after that. And we could have had a few more in the second half. And that mistake that Leno made, I actually looked back at that replay. I don't really know if Leno could have done anything different there. The first goal that Chelsea scored.
In which game?
The Chelsea-Arsenal game.
With Aubameyang header?
No. The Chelsea's goal where the keeper made the mistake. He went out to the goal that Jorginho scored. Chelsea's first goal.
I mean, Jorginho was open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the keeper went out, and they're saying the keeper made a mistake.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, and I never thought mistake on that whole goal. The mistake was the thing that I've been saying is Torreira. He cannot be
Jorginho
leave. Let me say, he can't be your holding midfield. He can't be your CDM. Is it CDM?
Yeah.
He can't be anybody's CDM except in a child's league. Like I've seen this guy play good balls, fine. I've seen him tackle, but he bounces off people. Like Jorginho is not the most physical soccer player in the league. He'd be in the least physical top players in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And the only people that would be under him, number one would be Torreira. It's like you get into a wrestling match with Jorginho and you fall
lost.
to the ground and then Jorginho's free to like head the ball in the back of the net. It's just not like, listen, man. Like, did you see Traore for Wolves play?
Oh my God.
Like what he did to Mendy in the Man City game? And let's just go to that game. Because to me that was like the best game of the last 7 to 10 days. Man City versus Wolves. Wolves is just a pain in the fucking ass, right? And then they have Mendy, who's fucking huge, right? Mendy, who's huge, and like this is how built. This is how built Traore is. Like I started talking to a friend yesterday about. He said, "What are you up to?" I said, "I'm watching." This person does not watch soccer at all. Right? It's Paul. I do the roommates with him.
Oh yeah.
And I said, "I'm watching soccer, and they just put this guy in. His name is Traore, and the coach that put him in sooner because he's running all over this team and wreaking havoc, right?" So this was during the Wolves versus Liverpool game. Right? And then I said, and he's like, and I said, "This guy's just a beast. He's an animal." And Paul's like, "I think I know who you're talking about." He said, I'll tell you the name because I just read an article about this guy on Bleacher. And then he says, is it Traore? So Traore
is reaching
is reaching that's how diesel he is. And then he sent me this photo that they tweeted from Bleacher.
Yeah, of him doing this.
Yeah, of him like
flexing
his bicep. And his bicep is now more popular than half the soccer players in the world. That's how muscular that shit is.
Yeah.
And so you knew who I was talking about. So then you have Torreira on the field with fucking a man, half Bigfoot, that can dribble the ball and run
Yeah.
at a crazy speed. And how is Torreira going to tackle this guy?
Yeah, imagine.
Listen,
Yeah.
Torreira can't even foul this guy.
Yeah.
He can't
'Cause
even
he's
get
gonna
a
be
technique
gone.
because he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And he's going to hit the ground. So I mean, I'm sure Torreira. I don't know. This is a problem. And Torreira is better than Xhaka.
And
And-
apparently, Mikel Arteta really wants Xhaka to stay. They have an offer on the table from Hertha Berlin,
Mm-hmm.
and Xhaka wants to go because he's like, "Fuck this, man."
That's a misassessment of, you have to be a good coach. You have to like separate like your love for a person.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure Pep loves Gabriel Jesus more than Sergio Aguero, but
Yeah.
he's assessed that Sergio Aguero
Is more helpful.
is more helpful, especially now. So I'm gonna start him.
You have to be ruthless at
So you
this
have
top
to be-
level as a
Yeah,
coach.
so why? There's no reason
Yeah.
to be kind to Xhaka. Like
No,
just
he
because you
apparently
like him.
likes his qualities as a player.
What are they? Like he can play, but
Yeah.
he's in a position on Arsenal where they need somebody better at that position than what he can give.
Yeah.
So and Torreira too.
Yeah. I
Torreira's
think
he's your enforcer. He got thrown to the field by the other team's weakest player.
biggest player. Yeah.
And it's not the first time. There's a lot of embarrassing Torreira footage out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to make more? Fine. There's a lot of embarrassing Xhaka footage out there.
Yeah.
These guys have been posterized,
Yeah.
in the soccer version of being posterized.
I think they create these cult kind of players, and Guendouzi could be the next guy there. And
So what?
like these players, like the fans also like fall in love with these players.
I'm in love with Guendouzi, so
Yeah.
I get
So,
that. But
yeah.
those two, no. No, there's no way I'd be in love with those dudes. But Guendouzi, yeah, he's got it. He's got the gift. Trying to find out what we should get to next. Because we spent a lot of time on Chelsea for some reason. I don't like that.
Oh, it's been that kind of week.
Yeah, I mean, for Man U, let's just do
Yeah.
some Man U before. So Man U, right before Christmas, we lose to Watford, and it's just a bad feeling loss.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like Watford, and I knew Watford was going to be a problem because they have their new coach, and this coach is like the second coming of Brandon Rodgers. He's out for revenge.
Nigel
what I mean?
Pearson.
Nigel Pearce. I say he's the second coming of Brandon Rodgers. He's out for revenge. Like he
Right.
coached that Leicester team, got fired,
Right.
and then Ranieri took that Leicester team and won them the title. And he's like, that's his team. Then he hasn't been in the league for some reason since then that I can
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
And now a desperate Watford team that's like floating dead man in the water hit him up. And, Watford had a good season last year.
Yeah.
And it's the same players. It's not like they sold people, so they should be shitty. So this guy comes through, and he's definitely has abilities, and now he's the coach of this team, and we have to play him, and then we just fucked that game up.
Yeah, I mean, this always happens with the new manager bounce. The players are so much up for it
That's
because
why
they
you get-
want to prove
but
to the new guy.
Exactly. And then we're like, oh, it's just Watford. No, they got a new
yeah,
coach.
yeah. It's not
You-
Watford.
It's
It's
not
Watford 5X.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna be on steroids for the next few games, and you
Yeah.
got to play them like that. And I hate
Yeah.
when people just write people off.
But also, I mean, I think it's kind of unrealistic, and the teams that we support, to expect them to be ruthless, even if it's against lesser opposition.
Say that again.
I feel it's unrealistic for us as fans to expect the kind of teams we support to be ruthless against teams that
That's the
we
thing. I
expect
knew
to
we
win.
could lose to them.
Yeah, because our teams are just so like United,
Young.
Chelsea, Arsenal's,
Young,
even
immature,
yeah,
and they're
immature,
just
and they're
learning.
gonna be inconsistent.
Yeah.
So
I accept that, but it's still
I'll take
hurt.
1 out of 2, or 2 or 3.
yeah. When you finally get it,
Yeah,
but we
yeah,
had to deal with this loss
Yeah.
first,
Before.
and a draw against Everton, who had a
Oh,
new
yeah.
coach too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Wait, did you guys play Everton under Ancelotti?
no,
Ferguson.
but we played him under Ferguson,
Yeah,
and Ferguson definitely had him energized.
Right,
So,
right.
so Everton has had 2 coaches since Silva left, and they've gotten more points with those 2 coaches than with Silva. So it's great. Like Ferguson got them. They didn't lose under Ferguson,
Yeah.
and now they're under Ancelotti. They've won the last 2 under official Ancelotti. Like,
wow.
Calvin Lewin is over there scoring goals. He scored goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I want to talk about Ancelotti too. And so his immediate effect is like 2 wins over the holiday period. Calvin Lewin and Richarlison been linking up and doing some things.
Yeah.
And we'll see if the early results are good, and we'll see if Ancelotti can keep this up with the same guys, or I think he'll definitely try to buy some shit
What did you
in
make
January.
of the fact that both Arsenal and Everton were looking for a manager, and Everton decided to go Ancelotti? Arsenal was like, nah, because you would expect
Mhm.
that somebody with the credentials of Ancelotti would go to Arsenal, and somebody as like Arteta, who's not had any experience, would go to
Let me-
Everton.
I can tell you kind of what happened,
Yeah.
what I think happened. So Arsenal did like Mikel
Even
before they hired Emery,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they thought about it, and they didn't,
Uh,
and they hired Emery, and then it didn't work.
so they had his file open.
So they're like,
they just went back to it.
when you do something, you go against your gut,
Yeah.
and then you have a chance now to go with your gut.
All right.
So I think that's what the Mikel Arteta thing is.
Right.
Like before, when we interviewed him, we thought we should have went with him, but we didn't, and we went with Emery. And Emery is like almost going with Ancelotti, like the proven person who's coached professionally before, and we had to fire him. So let's just go with our gut this time.
Yeah.
And now it's even better because Arteta has even more experience. He's won another title since then.
Spend another 12 months.
Spend another 12 months under the tutelage of So it's like now they're gonna go, and then now the fans just have to be patient because you just got to get the personnel. And then let's just go back to Man United. Overall, the Christmas started out like the day before. When did we lose to Watford? That was the weekend before Christmas, so that was shitty. I couldn't wait for Christmas to be over. Normally, I want Christmas Day to last forever. But I couldn't wait for the day after Christmas for us to redeem ourselves. So it had to be the day after Christmas for it to feel like Christmas. When we played
the redemption.
We played Newcastle. And the game started out like a typical Man U game. We're playing, and then fucking Newcastle scores first. And it's Matty Longstaff, the guy that won the one that scored the only goal the last time we met, and he's celebrating. And it's like, it's very disrespectful the way he was celebrating and enjoying. He's tapping his vein. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it seems insulting. So,
oh my God.
So then they score, but then we just pull it together and we reel off 4 goals in a row.
Yeah.
And then it's a goal party.
Like at that point when Longstaff scored,
mm-hmm.
It felt like, what's good? Because imagine that guy again.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, here's the thing: you guys have so much firepower up front.
We
need to get the ball to them.
Some firepower, and we need to get the ball to them. And I don't know what the deal is with Pogba. They didn't play him in that game. They played him at the end of the Watford game.
Yeah.
They didn't play him in this game. They didn't play him in the game against, was it Burnley yesterday or this weekend, which we won 2-0. So we got the 2 wins. We feel better. We don't want to fire Ollie again. And this is just how it's going to be. It's like, maybe this week we should fire Holly. Oh, then he gets 2 results. This is just how it's going to be. He's going to be inconsistent.
He's not going to be fired now. Till the end of the season.
He shouldn't be.
Yeah, he's not.
He shouldn't be. But I see what he's doing. Like a few weeks ago when Tottenham was way more cocky, Martin was like, I don't see what you guys are doing. But I can see what we're doing. I can see now. Before I was frustrated, I didn't see people developing. Now I see it was a game against Colchester. Like I watched the Colchester game,
Yeah,
and
League Cup.
Pereira was spraying the ball all over the place. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know he could do that. And and it's like, so because Dylan Wen does not believe in Pereira, but I believe in him. That Colchester game, and he had an assist in this game. He won the ball in this last game, took the ball from the player, crossed it in to Marshall. Marshall put it in the back of the net. So I believe in him.
And your forwards are in goal scoring form. You can do a lot of things, but if they don't have that touch, if you're not in form, putting the ball in the back of the net, it can, you'll have these. You'll not be scoring much, and then the other team will score one goal, and you're down.
Right.
So
it looks like Marshall and Rashford have been playing in their backyard since they were 3. They look like they are telepathically linked together, and they try to make the chips and the flips to each other, and we're getting more entertaining,
So you're saying with Pogba, it's nobody knows. There's no word about what's happening.
They say they introduced him too fast. They should have waited. It feels like they should have waited. They put him in the Watford game. He wasn't ready.
Is he on the bench though?
No, I don't think he was around for the. Let me see.
So he's not even on the bench right now. So it's still a fitness issue.
So it's probably. Let me see if he was available. So yeah, he wasn't on the bench for the Newcastle game. So then, for the Burnley game, go lineups. Yeah, so he wasn't there. So hopefully he'll be there for the Arsenal game.
Yeah, he's probably had like a bit of a setback. That can happen sometimes when you come back, because it's still it's not an exact science, right? Recovery.
Right.
So you come back, you feel you're good, but then you play those 20 minutes and something.
Yeah, but then now the fans are like, every time he doesn't play, or he's injured, or he goes to his brother's wedding.
He's dancing at his brother's wedding.
And dance. Which dance at your brother's wedding
you
is
can't do that.
Completely different than playing.
Yeah.
Like I've been sick.
Yeah.
And finished 5 series on Netflix, right? But I was too sick to go to work.
Yeah.
Now, if the people at work saw me like enjoying myself watching Netflix while I was sick, they'd be like, this motherfucker could have worked. But no, it's easier to lay down on the couch and enjoy some TV. But if you're watching from the outside, it looks like this motherfucker could have worked. Like he shouldn't enjoy himself at all. He's just
like what
injured.
is he supposed to do? Like put himself into a cabin and just lock the
his brother hopefully is only going to get married once. So he just danced at the thing. So, but there is issues with Pogba, and we should either sell him, not right now, in the summer, and use the money to buy players, and but let's get the most out of him because he could get us in the top 6. I don't know if we can get in the top 4.
I mean, it's looking like Ole is here to stay for the end of the season, till the end of the season.
Yeah,
he's written that. But I somehow get the feeling that he's kind of being used as a burner account. Get him to get this team to a certain level, maybe get Champions League football. Get him to do the dirty work of getting rid of certain players, all the deadwood. Negotiate some contracts, get in a bunch of the youth players in, which can be tough for somebody who's coming in with a reputation as a manager. So, just keep just keep the seat warm for the next guy.
I mean, that might be the case, but we'll see. Like, they're definitely giving him a chance. He's definitely towing the party line and saying the thing that the clubs wants him to say. He's not trying to create any divisions between him and the club like Mourinho did.
Yeah,
Mourinho was just straight up honest and miserable. But we'll see. We'll see. Like, Ollie will definitely coach again in the Premier League after this if he gets, because you could see what he's doing. It took a while for it to come through.
Yeah.
But Mason Greenwood, Daniel James, Rashford and Martial, Pereira, like Mark was trying to say, Pereira's old and Fred is turning into a player. McTominay, Like there's a lot of youth there. We just have to buy something, an attacking midfielder in the window.
What can he do between now and the end of the season?
Buy an attacking midfielder.
No, for him to be like, what can he show for
Finish
him
in
to
the
be
top, finish in the top six
the manager
six
going
and
forward?
have a really decent run and maybe win one of those cups. The FA
Okay.
Cup, Carabao Cup.
If he wins a cup, yeah.
Win a cup and have us playing good looking football so that we can see. You have to show progress for
Right.
people to be excited to see you continue doing the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we need to see. I think we should get to these questions.
Questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get my phone.
Yeah. I got them on my phone. So Austin Long was like, any midfielders you'd like Man United to sign. And I'm always like, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
And now there's another guy at the same team that Haaland was from.
Oh yeah. The
I forgot his
Wang
name.
Hee-chan. No, but he's a forward, I think. Because this guy, Liverpool got that guy, Minamino.
Minamino, yeah. You got they got a
Liverpool
song.
got
Yeah, they have a song.
Minamino.
But Minamino was 16.
7.5 million.
Now how old is he?
Oh, how old is he? He's probably 20,
20.
20, 21.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
he's a
think
future backup.
Yeah.
Right. So just Bruno. Can we get Bruno Fernandes in here? That's I'll take that. That's the person I want to sign because I've seen him play against Liverpool, so I know he can do. It's just one game, and the Premiership takes adjusting to. Like look at Fred,
Yeah.
but at least
But
he plays for his country. The Portuguese league is not a good
Wouldn't
the
you-
best sample.
wouldn't
let
you?
me let me just say,
Yeah.
it's not the best sample, but just I'll take Bruno Fernandes for now. Yeah,
How about Christian Eriksen?
I'll take Christian Eriksen too. Yes,
Because he's gonna be free.
if he wants to come, I'll take him too, because he's a proven Premier League player,
Yeah.
and he just had a half an assist in the game we just talking about, not the Norwich game with Tottenham, but the one that is it Brighton Hove.
No, Norwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored. He scored a free kick.
Yeah, he scored a free kick in the Norwich game, and
Yeah.
he crossed the ball to Aurier, who tapped it back to Dele Alli for the win in the game before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll take somebody who can do that for sure.
I think those are both
Yeah.
good options.
No,
and,
thanks for helping me
it's-
shop for Man U midfielders. Appreciate that.
Because I want him, but I know we won't get him. Because
Why?
Spurs aren't gonna, the fact
Sell
that
to
he's
London.
from Spurs, they're not gonna sell because I think it looks like they're barely playing him. They play him like once in 3-4 games,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they'll sell him to us.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's the summer, I don't think he would want to spoil his legacy at whatever that's worth at Spurs to come to Chelsea.
I don't
And
think you need him.
I think we need because Ruben Loftus-Cheek, his injury record is
Because
hasn't
you
been
have
the greatest.
Pulisic, you have Hadal.
No, as a creative, like a number 10. Pulisic has they're like wingers.
you got
playing for the most-
Jorginho,
Jorginho's kind of back, so
then you have Kovacic.
we have Kovacic who can develop, but like I'm talking about somebody who's like a pure number 10. We
What
don't
does
have
Chelsea need? You got the transfer window. What do you
Yeah.
need the most?
we need the most is
ban is
another
gone.
striker.
Mm-hmm.
We need a left back, and we need
Yeah,
a
so
right
leave
winger.
Ericsson alone.
These are 3 priorities, but yeah,
Mm.
if we could get, because I mean, if he's free, we can pitch the fact that he doesn't have to move, his family doesn't have to move, stay in London. Just come on over, baby.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
All right. So Aaron Gonhan, his question is these are questions from Twitter.
Just a moment, a question. Oh, that's Austin Long, not Austin Train. I was like, is it the comic?
Yeah. So Aaron Gonhan, his question is best Premier League midfielder of the decade. I don't even remember when this decade started
Ooh, that's gonna
and
be
when it
Let's throw a few names
well,
out.
let me finish. You hear words coming out of my mouth. let them stop and then jump in. Like so, I don't even remember who was playing at the beginning of this decade. So this is hard for me. Like if you got something off the top of your head, fine. But as you talk, I'm gonna type some shit in and I'll listen to your suggestions.
There's like a bunch of names we can throw from the beginning of the decade, right?
Like I need to
Yaya
like.
Toure.
Okay, keep going.
Yaya Toure. Gerrard. Lampard.
Was Gerrard at the end of his?
Yeah, I mean, for the
game?
first half he played, like the first 5 years of the decade, because I think he retired in the 2014-15 season or the 15-16 season.
That means he was like for only probably 3 years of the decade.
No, half the decade, right? If he retired in
When did he retire?
15-16 or 14-15.
So if he retired 15-16. Listen,
Yeah.
this is why you have to let me finish.
Yeah.
Only the first 3 years of the decade was he at his most effective. Like the 2 seasons after that, that's him going down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lampard's on the same boat too. Had 3 very good years, and then the last 2 years he was kind of first a bench player at Chelsea and then a bench player at Man City. So I think really people who've been consistent throughout the decade have been Yaya Toure, David Silva definitely. I think it has to be David Silva
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
he might be the dude.
Yeah,
My David Silva.
because folks like De Bruyne and Fabregas, they were really good too, but they were
they're
good for like
newer.
3-4 years.
Yeah. Like David Silva has been magic straight up, like all the way through.
Yeah.
Like let me see if this Premier League. So you don't put Hazard in there smartly. I give you credit for
No,
that.
because Hazard's a winger. Hazard to me has been the best player of the decade in the Premier
Get
League.
out of here! Now you the craziness comes. Get out of here.
You had a glimmer of hope for a second there.
I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter to me if you want to talk crazy. That's on you.
No, who's been better than Hazard in the Premier League?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Who? Consistently for this long? Because
First of all, how long was he in the Premier
7
League?
years.
7 years.
He had one bad year.
That's a good.
So 6 years.
He had more than. He had years where William beat him twice for the Chelsea Player of the Year, right?
Once.
Once.
So that was to take away 1 year.
William, who nobody likes. So
Yeah, but that was such a bad year for Chelsea,
But it doesn't have to be like when Messi's team doesn't win the league, Messi's not having a bad year.
But you're not
When Ronaldo doesn't win the league when he's in La Liga, Ronaldo's not having a bad year.
But we're not comparing Hazard to Messi and Ronaldo.
Why not? They're all in the same world of football.
No, but you're comparing him to his peers in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So who else has been that good over that period of time?
Let me. David Silva, Sergio Aguero, Yaya Toure.
Well, Yaya Toure, I mean, even he was he faded away.
Yeah, because it's towards the end of the decade. But Hazard, like what he's doing at Real Madrid now, is kind of what I think of Hazard. Like he's overrated. He's just been overrated. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
I mean,
I just think he's just overrated. Like Real Madrid bought this guy because they thought he's gonna do all this shit, but he's
not gonna do what Messi and Ronaldo do, but
they bought him
the
for
next tier
that
of
type
players.
of money.
I think the next tier of players. For me, like if I have to go by, because it's always subjective, who's the best player. For me, if I have to go like top 5, it'll have to be Hazard, De Gea, Aguero, Silva.
I wouldn't even put De Gea in there. For what?
I would put De Gea because he's single-handedly kept you guys afloat in a lot of seasons, and he won a few titles at the beginning of the decade, so he has that going.
I don't know, bro. Like I'm a Man U fan, and I'm not doing that.
That's because you don't like him this season, but he was really good.
I don't not like him. Like, and I remember when he was really good.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was just 1.5 years when he made this statement in some games, and because I've been watching Man U for a long time, and I'm like, and I'm sure there's times I can miss things, but there was this 1.5 year period when he made this statement and he made some saves. Like he's the best goalkeeper in the world. I think he was playing Arsenal, and we beat them. and then there was another game maybe against somebody else. He made some crazy, and then they just felt it was fine to say he's the best goalkeeper in the world, but he hasn't played like that in a long time.
Yeah, but I don't feel like the last 2 years should define what he has done over
But
the
before,
previous
but that's the
7
thing.
or 8
Before
years.
that, he was good, but not considered like one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So he was really good, and then he was good, and then he did those saves and said, since he's been good, let's add that year and a half of really good with the good and make him the best goalkeeper in the world. So before, I wouldn't have given him. So to me, I'm not going to give it to him on the year and a half of really good,
Yeah.
because before I just thought he was fine. Because remember, he was also keeping in a time where we just weren't that good.
And your defense wasn't good.
Yeah,
So to, be that kind of player for that long, to be a world class goalkeeper behind that United defense,
right.
I feel like that's uh, to me, like apart from Manuel Neuer, he was the second best goalkeeper in the world.
Hmm. He, I mean, according to this article, he's in the argument, you know.
Hmm.
But David Silva, they even named Aaron Ramsey
What?
and Brad Friedel. So that means that this has got to be an American written article.
Wait, but they're talking about some. Oh, I think they're talking about the best player from each club.
Yeah, no, it's not what I typed in. That's not what I asked you. Let me just, yeah. I dispute it, and I could be wrong, but yeah. So
I think Harry Kane definitely gets in the conversation.
yeah. But how long has he been starting at
I think he
Spurs?
started around the 13-14 or the 14-15 season. So yeah. But that's still 5 or 6.
Yeah,
I think you have a lot of players who've been.
that's enough time for him.
Yeah, I would say if you've been here for
I'll
5
give him that.
years,
Yeah,
you're in.
yeah. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
So this guy's asking Ian. It's Webster. He said, Ian, did you watch the Celtic versus Rangers game? No, I did not. We don't even get that out here. With Liverpool running away with the EPL, think our game, Scottish PL running, could be one to keep an eye on this season. I mean, just because Liverpool running away with a title, Webster, you know how football works. Just because your team is not winning the title, that doesn't mean you lose interest
Yeah.
in your team and all the cups that your team is involved in. I still got to watch my team in the League Cup, in the FA Cup, in the Europa League. And then I got to watch what the other teams around them are doing in the same competitions. And I got to watch, if my coach is going to get fired, I got to watch if we're going to buy players. And I got to watch if when we do buy players, if they're going to, I got to watch them improve. And I got to watch the players on the come up in the Europa League games when we play like a bunch of 18 and 17-year-olds. There's no time to jump leagues to a league that is not available in America. Like, I'll go see a game when I'm out there with Rangers.
Apparently, I think the only thing I know is that Rangers, which is Gerrard's team right now, they beat Celtic away, I think for the first time in 7-8 years.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, they're claiming that the old firm rivalry is back.
Either Gerrard is a good coach or the other team sucks so bad.
No, but the other team is Celtic.
No, the other teams in the league suck so bad that he looks good, or maybe it's a split of both. Patat said, you said that you all missed the boat. He said, are you sad that you all missed the boat on Haaland?
That's a good question.
It's a good question. Listen, I never seen Haaland play for Man United, so I don't know if I missed the boat. I do miss the fact that I heard they got him for his release clause.
18 million?
Yeah, which is a
less.
deal.
Yeah,
it's a deal. So I do miss the deal.
Yeah.
Like if he failed, it'd be like, all right, we just own him 18 mil. So
it's nothing.
That's no problem. But if he worked out just a decent amount, and just to sell back money. But Manchester United said something about them. Somebody said something about there was some ridiculous clause in Haaland's contract, and that I'll say it was a ridiculous clause that they had the right, like the minute Riola would have
the
the
same
right
guy.
to sell him,
Yeah.
and so he had control of the player. And now Riola made a statement that it was a normal negotiation and that there was no such clause or anything crazy like that. So I don't know who to believe, but I think Riola, that like Solskjaer's trying to establish a culture, and I don't think Riola's attitude and the way he has power with his players is conducive to the Man U attitude that we are developing. Like, I see the attitude now in Marcus Rashford. He was a kid. He was there watching the great Man U teams come up, and he plays like that. And Pereira's following in that footsteps, and McTominay is following. I want players that feel like that, and they feel like they belong to the club, and not players who are gonna be like, "What did you say, agent? Your like." They just you can Manchurian candidate them, like snap your finger and then take control of them away from the team. So I don't want that.
And Mino Raiola has been. I don't know why players still go to him. I'm pretty sure they do because like he gets the best deal for the player, but he takes these ridiculous clauses in every contract. I think Lukaku was with him, and Pogba is with him. He's trouble.
Yeah.
I think even our club, like we've tried to stay away from players that he represents.
Yeah, so and you guys are doing fine. So we want to do the same thing. We're Manchester United. We're not going to make an agent bigger than us, like that alone.
And I think you've been bitten once with this because Lukaku and he charged some insane fee, like in some $1 billion
fee for Pogba,
just the agent.
Pogba too, just the agent,
So,
yeah.
Haaland, I think I think it's a great buy for Dortmund. People haven't really seen him. People are just going by the fact that he scored goals against Napoli and Liverpool, who both have some world-class defenders. So there's definite talent there, but he's still pretty raw. If he comes to United, he wouldn't have been starting every game.
Right, but like I listened to the United stand, and we have 3 players for 4 positions, so we definitely need, or we have the like we're in we have 30 games left in the season, and we only have the players. We play 3 in the front, and we only got 3 in the front.
Daniel James, Martial, and Rashford.
Right. Like, so if somebody gets injured, there's no replacement, or just to rest, or just a good mix. So we need that.
And going forward, I think you guys, till now you didn't need to play them in the Europa League, but now you will.
Right.
In the knockouts.
Right. So we need like a break for them or some shit.
Yeah.
I'd still rather get an attacking midfielder. Let me answer this other question. Who is your player of the month? And he says, it's King Rivan. King Rivan. But are you asking me for Man U or just the league period? So who's your player of the month?
For Chelsea, player of the month.
Oh, Jesus. It doesn't have to be Chelsea.
Oh, I thought it has to be because, like, you can't keep track of the entire league.
Yeah, but you see people playing good in highlights and stuff. I mean,
I think
if you want to make it Chelsea,
I think Adama Traore.
Yes. Yeah.
I think because he's been playing really well,
yes.
and even the games he hasn't been scoring, he's been the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, but I've seen he went from a guy who you put in at the end of games to, like, I used to watch Robin play at Bayern.
Yeah.
And he has to have a good soul. He's like, he creates so many chances for Bayern. And, even the best forwards don't put away every chance.
Yeah.
So there was more chances that he created that were wasted than were completed. And I'm watching Traore
He's
do
doing
the
that.
same
Yeah.
thing. And it's like you have to have the love of a parent
Yeah.
to provide stuff for your kids
Yeah.
and watch them waste it and still keep providing. So not only is this guy the guy that used to cost you the ball sometimes because you would gamble on the good things that he could give you when he played right. Now his soccer IQ has gone up
Yeah.
and it's all pluses. And now he's creating chances that his teammates aren't finishing, and he just keeps on creating. And he's playing the Moses position,
Wing back.
wing back, and helping out on defense and going
Yeah.
forward. And
He's an incredible asset. I'll be very surprised if no big team goes for him in the summer.
yeah, they will. Because
Yeah.
now he was young. He was at the Barcelona Academy. He didn't make it there. He's bounced around. He was at
Yeah.
Villa. He went down to the championship.
Middlesbrough, yeah.
Yeah, and then now, like the right coach, Nuno.
Yep.
Nuno, his team's got to be disciplined. They have to like follow the entire philosophy if you're gonna play for him of his teams to stay on the teams to play for the teams. And yeah, man, I would say that, and Rashford too.
Rashford, yeah.
And because Rashford, last month they were like, is Rashford, and I said it too, is Rashford as good as Rooney, Van Persie, and the great forwards that Man U had? And I knew he needed service too, so I didn't know if it was service
Oh,
or
wow, that's a big call.
but he's scored goals despite
having no service.
Having service, yeah. And also, the Roberts and Alexander Arnold is it Arnold from Liverpool and Roberts. And here's the crazy shit. And like Van Dijk, the game against, they just beat Sheffield. This motherfucker has added to his repertoire now. He was spraying balls. Like the first goal that Lallana shouldered. That's a ball from Van Dijk. So now you had, first your fullbacks were, first of all, Alexander Arnold has the most assists in the league. He's a fullback.
Yeah, second.
He's at second
after De Bruyne.
I think he has more than De Bruyne now.
Oh, really?
I'll try to look it up.
But it's still incredible whatever he has for a fullback.
Yeah. So for a fullback, shit, how do you find that? Most assists in the Premier League. They say Buendia does.
Who?
Buendia. He's from.
No. That's probably.
Is this when was this? And they don't even have.
This is probably outdated.
This is probably. Let me look at this one.
Yeah, just
that's 2018, 2019.
Yeah, maybe just the website, Premier League website. They should have it.
Yeah, I'm at their website, but I don't know where to look for that shit.
Just go to stats.
Okay.
No, on top.
On top.
Video. Next to video. Fantasy. After fantasy.
After fantasy stats. Okay.
Yeah. And then on the left. Yeah. So De Bruyne is 12. No.
So
it's right.
It's right. Assist. So De Bruyne is 12. Trent Alexander-Arnold is 8. But then, like I said, that's something that's passes. But Virgil van Dijk, he's been spraying the ball too. And that's basically his assist, half of an assist to Lallana, who shouldered it to Mane.
Yeah.
But like throughout the game, like that guy, he's now like fine, So
he's
that's
adding another level to his game.
Another level to his game.
Yeah.
Like so I guess all those players.
Liverpool's scary. Liverpool's scary, right? Like the kind of team they have built for the next 3 or 4 years, and they're all going to be at their peak. And I don't think any of them are going to leave. Even if they leave for so much money that they can pretty much buy any player in the world to replace that player.
And I just think it's such a healthy culture there.
Yeah.
You don't- and you just win a European champ. You just won the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Why would you leave when you get the same amount of attention there as anyone else? But also the love is real and full,
Yeah.
and it's a healthy environment.
Yeah.
Like why am I leaving? Liverpool is a brand.
I think some players they still have that Real Madrid, Barcelona bug in them. So some might still want to do that, like a Sadio Mane might wanna, or like
Right.
a Salah might wanna, like.
But I don't
I
even
s-
think Real Madrid and Barcelona look at Sadio Mane the way they should.
Liverpool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just Sadio Mane, but he's
Yeah.
Sadio Mane, you know?
Yeah.
And so the last question, you want to ask it?
Mm.
You want to read it off?
Uh,
By Alonzo Mourning.
so we did Haaland. Oh, the offside rule.
Yeah, read
That's
it.
been. So Alonso Morning says, should the offside rule be changed so it only focuses on the player's feet and not other body parts like a fucking armpit? Also, who's your MVP of the decade for the EPL, and what World Cup did you enjoy most of this decade? So the offsides
Mhm.
stuff first, because I think when it goes to VAR,
Mhm.
they look at whatever camera angle they have available.
Right.
And my view on the offside is that there should be a margin of error in that. It's not like goal line technology where there's a static line, so
Mhm.
you definitely know whether you're in or out.
Right.
In the offside, you're trying to first see whether the ball has left the passer's foot,
Mhm.
and the frame rate that you have
Mhm.
with how fast players are moving,
Mhm.
the camera can't capture the exact moment.
Right.
So there is definitely a margin of error in the technology itself,
Right.
and that should reflect on the eventual decision. So if it's that close, let the goal stand. Say, I mean, review, don't do it right now in the middle of the season, but review all the data by the end of the season. And, VAR is a new technology. You're going to
Right.
have problems
Mhm.
with how it's implemented, but review all the data. And if you can come up with a commonsensical, like a, I don't know, 2 centimeters or like a 1 centimeter
Mhm.
or however many millimeters. And if it's in that margin, this way or that way, let the goal stand because you want goals. The football is about goals.
Right. Well, listen, we might just only get to answer the VAR question
Yeah.
because there's another
It's
podcast
like,
coming in
yeah.
after this. Listen, why did they get VAR? They got VAR
Yeah.
so that you could get close to the real answer as possible.
Yeah.
And I know some good goals have been scored, and you're like, man, he was that close. You should just give it to him. But if you were running 100-meter sprint, right?
Yeah.
And you got to the finish line, and it was a photo finish, and you thought you won, but the photo finish says the other guy won,
Yeah.
right? Or if the other guy
Yeah.
won before they did the photo finish, and then you won after they focus on the photo. Wouldn't you want the person who won the photo finish to win?
Yeah.
And listen, do you want the right answer or not? So yes, there's a margin of error, and they should leave that margin of error until next season when they get the right cameras that can actually calculate the
Right.
frames right. This is a work in progress. This is the first year.
Yeah.
VAR definitely started out the year bad. It's getting better, and they are making these close calls, but these close calls are why you needed VAR in the first place. So when it's making them, get over it. And then there's people talking about, well, the amount of time it takes
Yeah.
a
That's
minute.
nonsense.
That's nonsense.
Yeah.
That's just like, get the fuck out of here. That's just some nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of time to get something right is worth it. All right.
Mm.
So that's your excuse, because you're only saying that because the call is going against you. But if it takes a lot of time for the call to go your way,
You
then you're
love it.
down. You love it.
You
So
love it.
you're just,
Yeah.
you can't ask a player who just scored a goal that was taken away, you know. Yeah. And the armpit thing, if they move it to the feet, they're still gonna if they move the line to the feet, which I think they should, just to simplify it, there's gonna be the guy whose shoulder is ahead of his feet, and you're gonna want to feel like it.
No, they can't do that without changing the law.
Right,
That you
but
can't
you
use the shoulder.
yeah, but you got to change the law then.
Oh, yeah,
That's
but they can't do that. That's like changing like what
They
if
change laws all the time.
no, but what
They've
if
changed the offside law so many times, and now the VAR thing is in there.
no, but if you change the offside law, you'll also have to change the law about which parts of the body are allowed. Because if somebody's using their head,
I know. You said you're going to
if
change it to
somebody's
feet.
using their head and their
Mhm.
head is ahead,
That's
but
why
you
I
look
say.
at the foot.
That's why I say just leave it, and everybody just has to accept it. Like once it's the armpit, and it's the armpit for 5 years, then everybody 5 years from now, hey man, your armpit was offside,
Yeah.
and it's fine.
Yeah, I feel like they should VR should be used for offside, and the time is not an issue. But I definitely it's unlike the photo finish sprint thing though, because in the photo finish you can definitely say for sure that this is the line, and this is which side you
That's
need
what
to be to.
VAR is saying.
No, but on offside you can't tell with certainty.
You're right. You can't tell
What?
with certainty with VAR or without VAR. So we're using VAR. And next year, VAR is going to get better. They probably have to get the cameras that can really count the frames. And I think it's a technological issue. But
I don't
I'm
think you
fine
can
with it.
ever get it 100%.
And then you may
accurate.
never even be able to get it 100% accurate. But you
so
have
so
to
leave.
get it.
So
get
all
it-
I'm saying is like leave a certain margin, however little it is, and then if it's within
Why?
that margin, because that's what the technology is. The technology has. It's not giving
Okay.
you 100% accurate.
All right. So leave a certain margin.
Leave a certain
But
margin
who
and let the goals
determines what
stand.
that margin is?
No,
Because then,
that'll have to come from the data.
but then there's going to be an argument. It's going to be an argument either way.
Yeah, but I think teams are going to be fine. You don't want, as long as people know
All right, we
that
got
it
it.
counts.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We got to go. Yeah.
I think we got to most of the questions.
Yeah, I think we got most of them. Thank you for the questions, y'all. And we just need to see who's the big games. You got somebody
guys.
after this, Mike? No? All right. So we can run a little. So the big games coming up. It's going to be us. Man U versus United. Arsenal versus United.
You guys, I think it starts pretty even though. You guys definitely in form more than Arsenal.
We're in form, and they just lost. Arteta can't afford his team another loss. They're gonna come in with new coach energy, and we just lost to Chelsea, so they're gonna try to come. They're gonna come hard. They're gonna be intense, and they're gonna do what they need to do. So this is. It was Arsenal Man United is always a tough game.
Yeah,
This just makes it tougher.
they haven't won since October.
Yeah, so and we have to face them
That's
now that they're in that
3
bind.
months
Yeah.
since the beginning of October.
No, they've won. They won one with they won a game with Youngberg. One
No,
game.
they didn't win. They drew both games.
He was there for more than 2 games.
Or but they didn't win because I was listening to some of the.
No, they've won one in like 13 games or something like that.
Yeah, but the last one was at the beginning of October. So
They won a game with Youngberg though. I saw it.
really,
Yeah,
I
because they won a game with Youngberg. Yeah.
let's check because I'm pretty sure.
How do you spell Youngberg? Youngberg.
Just go to the tables and they'll show the graph of Arsenal. Just do Premier League .com tables. Just go to the tables.
Let me go back here.
Yeah. Now go down.
Table.
Go down. Go all the way down to Arsenal
Mm-hmm.
and click on the arrow next to Arsenal on the left.
This.
All the way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then see, the last win was on this game week 16. Oh,
Yeah.
so they won one.
Yeah, with Youngberg.
okay.
Yeah, they did.
So they won one, but then
Yeah. They
they've won
so
one.
count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I said it was
Wow.
13, but
Okay.
they So they won one in this is I just counted the 12 non-wins plus
Yeah.
the win.
Yeah.
So they won 1 in 13.
1-13. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize they slipped one in.
Yeah, he slipped one in. Yeah. Youngberg wasn't all bad.
They sent him to the director's box in the Chelsea game, and Arteta came out saying, because he's now an assistant coach.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Which
but
he should be.
yeah, but like he was seeing the game from not where the coaches sit,
Mm-hmm.
but from the director's box.
Mm-hmm.
And Arteta was asked about that after the game. He's like, "No, I just wanted him to give me a different perspective
Oh, okay.
from, how the game looks." So maybe I
Right.
don't know.
I think Youngberg, like when you look at Arsenal's team,
Yeah,
to get more intense defenders and better defending, they've been going to the youth, and the person that knows the youth is Youngberg.
yeah.
Yeah, like you can see, like in this game.
He's Arsenal's burner account, but
Yeah.
that didn't work out for them. They had to get rid of the burner account pretty quick.
Let me see this lineup of kids. They just
Saka,
like the Nelson kid.
yeah, Reece Nelson,
They went back to
Ashley
Maitland Niles, Saka. They're like these
Saka is really good. Why
Yeah.
do they keep using him at left back though?
because you need somebody
With pace.
who wants it and got pace. You just need somebody the effort. You want the effort. It's like, and then a lot of like forwards have been turned into defenders in England. That's what makes them good defenders. And so it's like if the people they've had back there, Bellerins and just everybody else, they weren't doing the job or injured.
injured.
It's just like Socrates. You're just like fuck it.
And they haven't been using Nicolas Pepe for a while.
He came in
He came in, but like he doesn't start.
because you don't need him.
I mean, can you really
You
after
shouldn't
being
have bought him.
you bought somebody in for 72 million, you're
Shouldn't have
12th in the
bought him.
table.
Joe Willock, another kid they throw in there.
Yeah. Smith Rowe.
Yeah. And just going, I comment something like I think Lo Celso is going to be good, and then Dombele for Spurs.
Spurs,
Like I've so
And
yeah,
Double
Dombele-
was pretty good when he
yeah.
came on against us.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty good. And Lo Celso didn't play bad against whoever Spurs played this week. So the big matches. Here's the funny thing: like Liverpool versus Sheffield is now a big match. It's a big match because Liverpool's in there, but Sheffield we know is going to give them a fight. So that's a big match.
That's a big match, yeah.
Yeah. And Everton versus Man City is a big match because of Man City and Mikel Arteta. Not Mikel Arteta. Ancelotti is going to be there. So Everton's like status is at another level.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Everton who started the season is going to be playing Man City. It's the Everton with Ancelotti. And who do you got with Man City versus Everton? Because now you can't even really trust Man City.
I think Man City, until they fix that centre back thing,
Mm-hmm.
they can lose any game because people have forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Other teams have forwards,
Right.
and if you're slack, they can score.
Yeah.
And their defensive record actually has been worse than our defensive record in the last 16 games.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we've actually been we had a really bad beginning to the season,
Mm-hmm.
but in the last 16 games, it's actually not been bad. It's been
word.
just over a goal a game. But Man City, I mean, they'll definitely be looking to spend big in this transfer window
Mm-hmm.
for defenders.
Yeah. Norwich, Palace. So those are the big games coming up right after the new year. It's gonna be. What day is that game on? Those games are like on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So on the 1st.
Somebody, I don't know if you have time for one more question.
Mhm.
Somebody asked you, what do you think United will do for the rest of the season? Like, how will they fare? This is my friend Dave, who had this question.
It's a personal text.
Yeah, no, his
Did he-
personal tweet. Yeah,
His personal tweet.
yeah.
How do I think Man U would do?
For the rest of the season.
Well, I already said at the beginning of the season, we're going to have a very inconsistent season.
Yeah.
And we're going to go back and forth. Now, if the transfer window comes up and we buy an attacking midfielder, we'll be more consistent. And we could get into the top 6. Like, listen, man, somehow what are we?
You're 5th.
We're 5th with that team. You know what I'm saying? Well, when you're 5th, when you have to bring Jesse Lingard off the bench and Pogba hasn't played most of the games this season, you're 5th. So if somebody doesn't think Ollie's doing a good job, which it didn't look like at first, I got to be honest. You like somehow we're 5th. Like Fred is now a Premiership player. Like we're getting goals. We have highlight reels that to be proud of. Like this is actually a good job. Like for the lack of names on this. Like so, if we get Pogba back and he stays for the rest of the years, he's in the right spirit. I'll just tell you, if in the best case scenario, Pogba back, we get an attacking midfielder, we could finish 6th or 4th because we're losing right now on lack of depth, lack of experience, and lack of quality. And you could add those things in a transfer window, and that'll take you that 1 degree means a lot more wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's see what happens in the transfer window. Then I can be more positive. If not, we're gonna do exactly what we're doing right now. Yeah.
All right.
And that's what it is. What do you think Chelsea's gonna do?
I think.
How do you think they're gonna do for the rest of the season?
I feel we can definitely hold on to top 4, but again, as I said, like there's so many inconsistencies. I don't expect anything big happening in this transfer window, unless we get like a Jadon Sancho, who is our number 1 target.
Bless you.
Sorry, but yeah, I think it's gonna be between that 4th and 5th position, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Actually, I'll put Leicester back in there too.
Here's the crazy thing. So, Liverpool's first, 55 points.
Yeah.
Leicester second, 42 points. Man City's right on their ass, 3rd with 41 points. Chelsea has 35 points. The only place up for real debate is your place, Chelsea at 4th.
Yeah.
And here are the teams that you have to fight off to stay 4th. You have to fight off Man United, who's 4 points behind you at 31. You have to fight off Spurs. They are 5 points behind you at 30. You have to fight off Wolves. They are 5 points behind you at 30. And you have to fight off Sheffield, who legitimately you have to fight off. It can't be like, they're going to fade. It's just what did they call it? Like freshman, when you have a great freshman year.
Oh,
this
honeymoon period.
This honeymoon
in the Premier League
is there to stay. It's their mode. They stay in honeymoon mode.
Because they have a great defense. They have the 2nd best defense in the league.
So then if you're Chelsea, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legit threats. No, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 legit threats for that 1 spot. Like Leicester could drop, but you also could move up and pass Leicester. So whoever is 4th is definitely in danger.
Yeah, I do see a scenario where Leicester drops. I do see a scenario where Leicester keeps the number 2nd spot. So, you know, and I think it's going to be open. We're going to have 2 spaces open up.
2 spaces?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
2 spots open up in the top 4. I think both Leicester and Chelsea aren't as
stable.
As stable.
Right. But Leicester's so far ahead, they're harder to catch. There's more rooms
because
they have mistakes. And they are more
points.
consistent. You know, they just lost to Liverpool and Man City. It's not like they dropped points.
Who did they draw to before that?
Norwich. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe they had their December blues and now they can get back on track.
And the good thing about Leicester, unlike any of our teams, is they don't have any European football.
Right.
So they can put Jamie Vardy on ice for the week.
I mean, they put him on ice the other day and they beat West Ham.
Yeah.
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 All right. So is there anything you want to plug, talk about?
No, just follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sawyer's Lawyer.
All right.
And I put up stuff that I'm doing there.
All right. And thanks for coming down from San Diego and shit.
Yeah,
Let's go grab something to eat after this.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic. I have a series there with Paul Elia called Roommates. It's on IGTV. You can check those videos out. It's just a funny roommate sketch series. And you can get my album 100% Half-Assed at ianedwardscomedian.com. Just go to the merch page, and it's there for $5. It was produced by Conan O'Brien. I have a special on streaming on Comedy Central. Bill Burr presents Ian Talk, so check that out. And follow me on Twitter at Ian Edwards Comic. Mike, you got anything you want to plug? Nothing? You just want nothing to do with soccer. All right, I get that. Thanks I appreciate you. And anything else? I'm gonna be at the Comedy Hub in Houston, January 3rd and January 4th. I'm gonna be headlining. So if you hear this, come out. Also tell some people. And if you're watching this on Instagram, subscribe and watch those videos down there.
Roommates, yeah.
Roommates and the rest of the Soccer Comic Rant shit. All right. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Peace. He doesn't know how to handshake. Hope that was on camera.
I don't know the second.
Yeah, you don't know which one I was gonna do.
Because
I've been fist bumping, so I don't get the flu from people. Yeah. All right.